So, hello, listeners from around the globe. Welcome back to Beyond the Gym Floor. And I should apologize in advance. And I don't know, Lindsey, if you can hear this, but my neighbors are currently renovating their home. So, there's absolutely no quiet space for me to conduct interviews. But I know that on a personal level, I really love listening to incessant hammering when I've got a podcast on. So, just bear with me here. But I'm joined today by Lindsey Connor of Thomas Paine Elementary School in Urbana. So thank you so much for carving out some time for me this afternoon, Lindsey. So tell me a little bit about yourself. Where did you grow up?
I grew up actually not too far from here, from Champaign area, in a small town called Bement. And I had a graduating class of about 40 students. So a very small community.
Very
And
metropolitan.
yes, definitely. I
Mhm.
left for a little bit to go to college down in Southern Illinois. And then I came back and I've taught in Champaign and Urbana, both.
So did you attend Southern Illinois Carbondale?
I did, yes.
Nice. Very nice. What year did you graduate?
I graduated in 2004.
2004. Okay. Because I knew a faculty member, but she was not there during that time. So I was just curious. So what led you to PE?
Well, I was always active and loved sports growing up. I had really motivating PE teachers as a child, and it was just something that I always enjoyed. I loved PE. And I remember going to college and not really knowing what I wanted to do yet. I knew I loved kids. I'd always worked with kids. I've taught swimming lessons and babysat and did a lot of things with children. But I remember when I was trying to decide what I wanted to do, I was like, I know I like sports. I know I like teaching, and I know I like children. So I just kind of combined those. And when I found PE, I was like, yep, that's it.
You nailed it.
Yep.
And I don't know, Lindsey, if you're aware of this, but we're in the middle of a pandemic. I don't know if like you've been tracking the news lately. But what is one online strategy that you've used that has been even semi-successful? Because I know teaching elementary PE content is wildly difficult. So have you done anything that has been helpful?
I would say probably the most helpful thing is just other PE teachers that are willing to share their stuff, especially just through like Facebook and different groups. There's all kinds of PE groups out there now with Twitter. But just the willingness of people that do make stuff and are very savvy with internet and with technology, that they are just willing to share. And so it's been really easy, I guess, in a sense, to just grab stuff that people are sharing and be able to use it. The biggest thing that I had to learn was like how to make a PE Bitmoji page, how to use Google Sites, which are things I didn't do when I was in college.
Mhm.
So those two things we've done a lot of work with this last few months. But I would say the biggest piece of technology is just like how awesome PE teachers are right now and in learning things and just sharing them, because there's so much cool stuff out there that other people have created, and they say just use it.
That's so nice. And I
Yeah.
know too, it's sometimes hard. I was talking to my undergraduates about, Bitmoji and interactive clickable classrooms are really cool, but also making sure that the content is still accessible and exciting to the students. I mean, it adds a whole new layer of pressure on
It does.
educators.
And
Yeah.
making sure that you don't have all those ads on there. I know, especially with elementary, like we've had to learn there's a safe share
Mhm.
website that I use a lot, where you just copy everything in there and then it makes sure that it's safe. So yeah, then you got to remember to use that when you cut and paste and copy links and stuff. But yeah, no, it hasn't been, I would say, extremely difficult, but it's just a different kind of thinking.
Yeah. And then on a personal level, how are you staying sane? Just yoga, increased alcohol consumption. What's been your jam lately?
All of the above. No. I used to work out a lot at the local gym, but it was closed for a while. So actually we bought a new bike, and so we've been using that a lot and just making sure I get outside every day. So after I've been on the computer for several hours, to go out into my garden, go outside with my kids, and just make sure I enjoy the weather too. It's been beautiful here.
No doubt about it. What would you change about the field of physical education if you could?
I think if we were in like a regular non-pandemic world, for us, it's scheduling. Like I would just make sure that PE was the number one priority instead of math and reading blocks and everything else, and just making sure that kids got exercise and PE every day. and that they got it at the most appropriate times. Like if we could schedule PE before everyone takes a test, or we could schedule PE during the most crucial times instead of just whenever we can fit it in.
So instead of it being an afterthought, it's actually at the forefront of planning.
Yeah.
Yes, I get that. So what's the most important lesson your students have taught you over the years?
Oh, that's a good one. Let me think for a second. I would say the most important lesson is, and maybe I didn't think about this when I first started teaching, but now that I've been in it for almost 12 years, is probably just to enjoy it. I mean, I know what I'm doing now. Those first few years, everything just goes so quickly. You feel like you're living in a tornado. And then now it's so much smoother and easier, and just like sit back and just be like, this is one of the best jobs in the world, and just enjoy it. And the kids have the most fun when you're enjoying it. When you're all stressed out and thinking about all the things you got to accomplish, it's not as much fun. So I think looking at it from a whole different perspective nowadays.
Oh yeah, and I remember back to my first few years of teaching and how I would agonize about every little thing, and I was so focused on management and just the flow of the lesson, and it took me a while to get back to that joy. Like, why did I sign up for this gig to begin with? And once you get back to it, it's so much better.
Yeah, and it's hard to do that at the beginning, your first couple of years, but then once you realize that you've got it, you know what you're doing, you've got the routines, and every school is different, so you got to learn their things. But yes, definitely, they have taught me that for sure.
I love it. Any advice you would share with the current cohort of Illinois undergrads who are thinking about a career in PE?
Well, first of all, they're choosing the best career. I would say that. And I would also say, like, as many opportunities as they can get to observe or get hands-on experience is important. And when they do have those chances, just to make sure that they're getting engaged. I always love it when teachers come into the gym and maybe they're just supposed to be observing, but they come in and they're like, what can I do? What can I help you clean up? Can I help you do this? Or, what do you want me to do? What can I do to help you? Just show eagerness, I think is one of the best things to see when you're like looking at students that are coming in, and then just being themselves. Kids love that, especially if they have like a silly side, or a lot of times people that are going to this field like children anyway, so just make sure that they're being real.
Great advice. Do you have a particular one of probably several, but do you have a teaching highlight that comes to mind?
Oh my gosh. There's a lot of highlights. Right now I could think of one that just happened like 2 weeks ago. So Zooming is hard, and I never know like what they're thinking, because a lot of times they have to stay muted because they can't all talk. We have 20 minutes to get through a lesson. I don't always have time to listen to everyone. So I don't always check the chat box because a lot of our teachers don't even turn the chat boxes on. But I happened to notice a chat box right before I was getting to end a Zoom with a 4th grade class. And in it was, Mrs. Connor, you are the best PE teacher in the world, and I love PE. This is my favorite time of the day. And I was just like, oh, that's what I'm going for.
Heart melting.
Yeah, that's why I do this. So, just knowing that they really, it's only 20 minutes, and it may not be my favorite activity, but they are loving it, and that's why I do it. So
I saw on Twitter the other day, a teacher posted that her 2nd grade student asks every single day in the chat box, like, how are you? Are you okay? Like, this student is so empathetic to the teacher's feelings. And I just thought that was so sweet. So touching.
Yeah, they come up with some pretty, we have an app that our district's using, and so they can actually message us personally just about any time they want. And I get some pretty cute little, how are you doing? I love that activity. When can I do that again? Or can you send me the link? Or kids at this age, I teach K through 5th, really do love PE. That makes our job that much more fun.
I mean, you're the superhero of the school in many ways. So Lindsey, as a Champaign-Urbana / Bement hometown legend, your students and the fans of this podcast need to know, what do you listen to in the car typically?
Oh, everything, actually. I will listen to whatever is on. I like oldies, I like 80s, I like hip hop, I like country. It's really whatever's on.
So you don't seek out something specific. It's
I
just,
do not. And kids
yeah.
bop sometimes if my kids are in there.
Oh yeah. Your favorite kind of go-to snack?
Oh, snack. I like popcorn.
Popcorn? I like that. My son eats a bag of popcorn every day on the way home from his preschool, every single day.
It's a good choice.
Favorite toy as a kid?
Ooh, that's a good one. I don't know. I always loved basketball. I probably have to go
Hmm.
with basketball.
I think I would have to agree with you on that. First concert.
Oh, New Kids on the Block.
You know what? That was one of my first. Did you attend the one at the Assembly Hall?
Yep.
Yeah, I was there too. That's so hilarious. Yeah, I was there. So
Unforgettable.
yeah, unforgettable. Yeah, that's so funny that we were both at that concert. Finally, when you settle down, actually, I might have one more for you too, but when you settle down in the evening, what TV show do you look forward to watching?
I I hate to admit this, but I am like a real junkie for anything reality. So I like The Bachelorette, The Bachelor, Jersey Shore.
Oh my gosh.
Anything that is not going to like make me have nightmares this night or think about murders. Anything that's real lighthearted and funny.
Now I get that. I should have prefaced that question with there are wrong answers, because that is a wrong answer. But I do, when you added that element of not wanting nightmares, I get that.
Yeah.
I do understand. Reality TV though, oh, it just makes me feel like my soul is just dissipating.
I know.
I
I think I just use it as like a place to go and I don't have to think about anything else. I also really like anything on Netflix that has to deal with the planet or animals. I'm like a real junkie for like shows about Alaska. Real life stuff though.
Real life
Also.
stuff. So one last little silly question for you. Have you ever laughed at an inappropriate time, like a somber church service, for example? And the only reason why I'm asking you this is because I told my undergrads this lately, that I was flooded with a memory from my days at the University of Illinois when we had to take a dance class. And the instructor, one of the assignments was to attend a dance performance at Krannert on campus. And I assumed that it was going to be, this massive venue, but it happened to be in one of their tiny, tiny, tiny little theaters. And I brought my sister, who was 18 at the time, and when it was this very dramatic performance, and the people were wearing these like George Washington style wigs, and they had this insane makeup, and it was really just not our cup of tea. But I made a critical mistake. I glanced over at my sister and I noticed like her shoulders were just like shaking, and she was laughing so hard that tears were streaming down her face. And then I lost it, and we laughed for the entire performance from beginning to end, like chest pain from laughter, getting glares from the people next to us. It was a disaster. So that's the only reason why I asked you that, is because it's been on my mind lately.
I'm sure I've got some, but I'm struggling to think of something. I love to laugh, so I'm sure I have some. I'm sure I do.
Oh yeah, just not a specific memory that's flooding to your mind right now. No.
No.
Yeah, inappropriate laughter. I don't know why, but that just came back to my mind recently. And yeah, so my students had some good stories to share about that this morning.
That's awesome.
Chatting with them. Yeah, it was really funny how we talked about kind of like that awkward response to something that's supposed to be serious, and how it's just the worst feeling. Yeah.
Too.
Oh, well, Lindsey, thank you so much for being a guest on Beyond the Gym Floor, and good luck with the rest of your semester.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for being a guest on Beyond the Gym Floor. And if you would like to be a guest or simply have a comment or a question, you can reach me, Jamie O'Connor, at beyondthegymfloor@gmail.com. Encourage your friends to listen and subscribe to the show either through iTunes, iHeartRadio, or Spotify. Thanks for listening, folks.